Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the Yeah. What's everybody fighting for? Why can't people help people? That's the question.
Oh my God, it's people helping people!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another amazing episode of People Helping People. The crowd goes wild. As you can see, hold on just a moment. Let me get this full screen. 1 second here. 1 second. Oh gosh, technical difficulties out the gates. Come on, baby. There we go. Hello, everybody. And as you can see, we are still traveling. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I'm using this little Boya mic here, and hopefully it's doing us justice this time, not muting us. I hope everybody's doing great. I've had an incredible few days of traveling. It's been hectic. It's been rewarding. It's been exciting. It's been all these things. And Kayla and I are still in Oregon. We are boarding a plane tomorrow at 7 a.m. So we got to be up at 4 in the morning, drive an hour or so to get to the airport, and get on an airplane to head back to Tucson. So Wednesday, we will be back in studio. And, oh, good. Rich says that he can hear us real well. Rich, hello. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, we will be back in studio, and I'm really excited about it. Get back home and touch back on home turf, and kind of recollect ourselves. Kayla and I coming out here, we're on a very specific diet. We are on the Whole30 on top of doing some other things. So it's been very constrictive. And being that we came out here to Oregon to go to a wedding, all this good food. I mean, absolutely everything you could possibly want was here. So we went shopping prior to the wedding. We made our own food, staying on diet, just trying to take care of our bodies from the inside out. And I think it took a lot of willpower from Kayla herself and myself not to just dive headfirst into a giant vat of cookies and all the delicious drinks and everything else that were here. So, but huge shout out to my little sis. Huge shout out to Jeremiah, her now husband. I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm so excited that we got to be here and be a part of that. And, but yeah, I think today, you guys, we're going to do something a little bit special, a little bit unique, because last week on 89.1 FM, we, as People Helping People, were featured on the show. So it was really interesting. It was an interesting experience. And we talked about this before, but I think that we should play that radio interview for you guys. And I kind of want to break down, I'll pause in between some things and we can talk about, well, first off, we can laugh at me because there's some moments in that interview that were hilarious. So I want to dive into that. And as you guys know, chapter 3 is on the horizon. We are just a few, gosh, what is the date? A few days away from chapter 3 now. And chapter 3 is going to be very, very exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that. But it takes us getting home, takes us getting back to Tucson to put our boots back on the ground, strap up, and just start grinding, get it everything lined up. So chapter 3 is as incredible as I foresee it being. So again, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope you guys spent some time with family or spent some time with yourselves and had a moment to appreciate being here on this planet. And Kayla and I did our best to find our moments. It was hectic. It was hectic in a lot of ways, but we did our best to take moments away from everybody and just enjoy each other and in nature. And so it's been really nice. But you guys, let's dive into this interview. Like I said, we were on AZPM. I'm looking it up right now. We were on AZPM, and you can check out this interview on news.azpm.org. And the show that we were on is called Arizona Spotlight. So I'll go ahead and share my screen for you. Let me pull it up. There we go. Let me share it real quick. And let's check out this interview. Well, add source. Share screen. There we go. Okay. AZPM. Remove that. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I can make it a little bigger. There we go. Okay. So, again, we were on this radio station last week talking about people helping people. And it's really neat because not only did we do the interview, but they did a nice little segment on us here. It says, meet Alexander Ward, the originator of a podcast called People Helping People Live. Ward is forging new connections between members of the Southern Arizona community and the organizations that offer support and resources for making their lives better, including Camp AZDA, a summer camp for youth living with type 1 diabetes. And they put one of my shows up here, which was really cool. So that's there. And then this episode that's airing soon, they also put a link to that. And that was the episode with David Castillo and myself, just two diabetics, going back and forth and talking about all the triumphs and trials and tribulations. And so that was a really fun episode with Castillo. Shout out to Castillo. But both of those are on their website. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this interview here. And I want to know from you guys, once I play this, let me know if you guys can. Oh, let me turn off this fan real quick. Let me know if you guys can hear the actual interview itself, okay? Because this is new grounds here because it's going to be playing through my speakers and hopefully it doesn't echo through my microphone. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this interview here featuring people helping people. Pretty dang cool.
The following is an AZPM original production.
For AZPM, I'm Mark McLemore, and this is Arizona Spotlight.
Can you guys hear it okay?
Coming up, meet Alexander J. Ward, the originator of a podcast called People Helping People Live, forging new connections between members of the Arizona community and organizations that can help make lives better. A new episode of AZPM's Children of the Holocaust focuses on survivor Sidney Finkel and explores the impact that silence, trauma, and resilience can have on second and third generation survivors. And listen to a favorite story as told by Simon Donovan. It's about a dog named Betty. It begins with tears, but ends with laughter. Those stories are next on Arizona Spotlight. About 5 months ago, Alexander J. Ward decided to take what he calls a leap of faith, and he launched a podcast called People Helping People Live. He interviews folks from all walks of life, often with inspirational stories to share, or who want to speak on behalf of a cause that could positively impact the audience. Now with more than 60 episodes recorded and well over 1,000 subscribers, Ward is beginning to feel the power of the platform that he's built. I started by asking him to describe one of the many challenges that he encountered when he began to host People Helping People Live.
Obviously never being an interviewer before. I always enjoyed having incredible conversations with people, in-depth conversations with people. And so for me, it was just about setting up everything that I knew about production, setting up everything I knew about sound, and diving in.
People are always coming up to me and asking about getting started in podcasting. I've got this idea for a show, where do I take it? I don't know what to tell them. The Sphinx, I'm clueless.
The platform for me, I have to just lean on the community. I had support right out of the gates. And being that I run a live show, having those people interact with us live, giving me feedback, hey, your headphones aren't working. All right, let's pause right there. I have to lean on my community so you guys can tell me if my headphones aren't working. Kayla and I were laughing so hard at that because that's not how it works. But, it was, I didn't feel like I was alone in that interview. I had all you guys with me, but it was just so funny. A couple of these answers are hilarious. Oh no, lost sound. Let me unmute. Check, mic check. Hold on. Mic check 212. Mic check 212. Baby, can you see if you can hear me? Okay, we're back. All right. So I hope you heard that. But in the interview, I said I really lean on my community, and they tell me things like if my headphones aren't working. It's just so funny because you guys would never know if my headphones are working or not. But at the beginning of the interview, it definitely had a little bit of nerves going until we settled in. So we'll continue. Or, hey, the sound is too low. Your soundboard's too hot. And then having guests reach out to also be a part of it is kind of built organically.
So many people want to make a podcast because they want to be the star. But I don't get that vibe from you at all.
Yeah.
You're there to bring in people from the community with interesting and uplifting stories to tell.
Initially, I bought all this gear to just have conversations with my family forever. And that was so exciting to me. How cool would it be to have your grandmother talking, having a full-fledged conversation, laughing, reflecting on everything that she had done in her life?
and you have that forever, for generations. I feel as though it evolved into finding purpose in service of others, giving people a platform where they can speak openly, feel heard, and if they're selling something, whether it's a product or they have a business or they're a musician or an artist, to give them a platform to express who they are and put a face to those different avenues. And that just, maybe selfishly, just ignites me. It's so exciting. It's so exciting that people feel so good after a conversation.
People often do not realize the value of the wisdom that they carry around in them.
It feels like every guest is immediately a part of our network. And that's the beauty of it, is that when we do have people like Amanda Cardenas, she lends a hand to her beautiful network of type 1 diabetics that she's built over time. When I have artists on the show, they're lending their knowledge and an open ear to anybody else that wants to reach out to them. This is about building out a network where I can connect people that need things. And that's what feels so good, is that every single person that has been on the show has been so head over heels wanting to be involved, that connection I have in my back pocket to be able to make for each of those individuals if they need something.
Can you share a little bit about your own personal experience with diabetes and why this cause is important to you?
I was diagnosed late in life, 28 years old, thought I was healthy, was competing in CrossFit and eating healthy. And then all of a sudden I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and Crohn's disease, in and out of the hospital for the better half of 2 years. And I had to pull myself out of the mud a lot. As any diabetic knows, it's something that just is all too common. And so I speak about type 1 diabetes openly. I speak about my Crohn's disease openly because I think it's so important for people to see that it's okay to not be perfect. I've had hypoglycemic attacks in the middle of episodes where I'm sweating profusely and I have a guest in studio and I tell them, hold on, I need to go get some honey. I'm not okay. Amanda Cardenas came on to my show and completely changed the way that I looked at everything. Because of the network that she had built out going to Camp AZDA 24 years ago, it went from her, a person alone as a type 1 diabetic in the world, searching for understanding, searching for community, searching for love. And she flipped the script from being somebody who needed that to somebody who found it because of Camp AZDA, then becoming an advocate to sponsor other kids because she was sponsored by somebody they never met. I just think it's beautiful, man. I started a production company prior to that called Type 1 Production, and the goal was to help people with type 1 diabetes, but I couldn't find an outlet. I couldn't find a way to give back. And I know how alone I felt as a type 1 diabetic.
Alexander and I invited Amanda Cardenas to join us by telephone from Phoenix. Cardenas begins by explaining why she is an advocate for Camp AZDA, which is hosted each year in Prescott by the Arizona chapter of the American Diabetes Association.
I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 7 years old. It was one of those things where my parents are like, hey, you know, we have a life-changing diagnosis for not just your child, but for you guys. And not only does it change your life, but it also changes your finances, too. And then as they're telling us about everything, about the life-saving medication that was necessary for me and my diagnosis, but also they're like, by the way, and it costs about the same as it does like a third of your mortgage. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, and by the way, there's this amazing summer camp that's a week long for kids with type 1 diabetes. It's up north. And by the way, it's over $1,000. My dad was somebody who, you know, he's a great networker, and then he was out about a week after this diagnosis. One of the ladies he had met, you know, was kind of like, hey, what's going on? You look a little off. And my dad was like, well, my daughter just got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. We'd love to send her to this camp, but we just can't afford it. And this woman who, again, I have no idea who she is, what her name is, like this was so long ago, but instead of asking more questions, she just wrote me a check for me to go to this camp. And it was so life-changing. And this woman has no idea, like, how impactful this was on me. Because when I was first diagnosed, I was told all the things I can't do anymore. And then I go to this camp, and I'm shown all the things that I can do. So for kindness, generosity, and for selflessness of just gifting me this this experience has changed everything for me. So now I build my business around this, where everything that I do in my community, like all the deals I have through my real estate business with the diabetes community, I'm able to donate portions of my money back to help fundraise money to sponsor kids to go to camp and continue to pass on this gift of perspective and community. They meet new friends. They develop these lifelong friendships, which I can attest to. Like, I have friends that I met on my first year at camp when I was 7 years old. When you're able to meet others who are going through the exact same thing as you, and you have those resources of not just supplies, right? Because, like, let's say I'm out of insulin or I need help with, like, medical supplies. I have a massive community of people who I can reach out to that can provide these things to me in a moment's notice. So that right there is one of the most valuable aspects. But not only that, it's the emotional tie and the support that you get as well.
Since the two of you have met before and done at least 2 interviews that I know of, what was a takeaway for each of you from those interviews and from that sense of community that could be built between 2 people living with type 1 diabetes, adults in this case?
Prior to meeting Amanda, my whole sole purpose of everything that I was advocating for moving forward was to build out the network that Amanda had built out. So when we met and she told me about the reason, there was a pinnacle, there was a moment in her life when she was 7 years old that changed everything moving forward. It completely broadened my horizons to what was possible. And I felt so grateful, like this big weight was lifted. I don't have to go out and hit the streets to find these things anymore. She pointed me in that direction. And so I'm eternally grateful.
And Amanda, what was the positive result of being on the People Helping People show with Alexander?
It's the reach that it has. He's developed such a great community just by starting his podcast. And again, I had no idea who he was at first, and I happened to just see him on Facebook with his other friend who is also type 1 diabetic. And as soon as I heard them talking about that, my thumbs couldn't have moved faster. And thankfully, it led literally to this interview, continuously adding on to the community that we're growing here.
Something I picked up on from listening to and watching the podcast was you've chosen to live out loud. You're not hiding the insulin pump that you need to survive. Instead, you call it a conversation starter.
I'm a big believer that vulnerability is actually a strength. And a lot of people are so afraid to talk about what they're going through, or feel like if they do talk about it, that it makes them less than. And for me, what I've noticed when I'm super outspoken and I'm the person that's not afraid to start that conversation, it opens people up to having that I guess permission to not be afraid to talk about what they're going through and help people understand that it's really not that scary, and it's just something to talk about. It's just so important that people know that you're not the only one going through this, and if you felt like you have them, let's talk so you don't ever feel that way ever again.
So for people who want to get involved, people who want to do what you call the next step, the give back, tell us more.
The best way to find us is on YouTube, youtube.com/@ People Helping People Live. And in that, there are descriptions that have the links to places that you can donate that will go directly to sponsoring kids. And the other thing that we're doing on September 29th, which is a Monday, we're having another marathon stream. It's going to be 4 to 6 hours, maybe longer, because so many artists, world-renowned artists, after we've had them on the show, are donating their pieces of art, and we're auctioning everything off.
My guest was Alexander J. Ward, the originator and host of the podcast People Helping People Live. There's a link on the Spotlight page at azpm.org.
There you go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. People helping people on the radio. Oh, geez. Let me get the correct. Hold on. Struggle bussing. Okay, stop sharing screen. There we go. Yeah, we did it. We did it. And that's one of hopefully many radio interviews we're going to do. We just got to keep advocating for people helping people, and one thing that when we did that interview, I didn't have the silent auction started yet. So we now have the silent auction started. which you guys should know. If you're new joining us, welcome. And the silent auction is live. I'll show you guys right now. We are up to 13 bids. $1,045 in bids on all the pieces of art. And we also have donations. We have a $50 donation, an $85 donation. And so we are almost up to $1,200. We've raised $1,200 in less than a week for these kids. And I am just eternally grateful. All of the links will be down below. If you guys would like to check out the art that is for sale, or that's being auctioned off. And the website for that is peoplehelpingpeoplelive.betterworld.org. And you'll see, I'll just share that with you real quick. You'll see on that website. Oh, 857 Tucson, Damien, what up? Welcome in. We are on the fly right now. I don't know if you caught the beginning, but yeah, we are still traveling. We will be back in Tucson tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. We're leaving Oregon tomorrow morning. And so we'll be back in studio on Wednesday for Wednesday's show. Looking forward to that. And so people helping people. We out here. We are doing things. Let me go ahead and share the screen for the auction here. And if you guys don't know, you can go to 857 Tucson on Facebook, on YouTube. Damien over there, he's got an awesome channel. He keeps anybody that's in the Tucson area, he keeps everybody up to date on like real news. His ears are to the streets. So that maybe the stuff that you don't see on TV is the stuff that he's covering. So he keeps you informed about the things that are actually happening in your community. So it's a good follow. But yeah, so here is the page, Camp AZDA Sponsorship Fund. And if you go to peoplehelpingpeoplelive.betterworld.org, you can check out the auction itself. And we have all these incredible pieces by Kayla Coffey. She's got 2 pieces on here, one of which is a print, one's an original. We've got The Loving Whales by Teresa Vanderveer, Reflection by Tracy Ward. Both of those are originals. Veiled Symphony of Chaos by Brandon Harris. This is an original. It's a big piece too, a 36 by 30. And then I have to post the other 4 shirts, but we have 5 shirts from Penny and Benny. If you guys need merchandise, of course, pennyandbenny.com or Penny and Benny LLC on Instagram. And then Myriad by Nick Boltman, another giant piece, 36 by 48. That's on there. And then we have Michael Carini's double piece. So it's 2 pieces. And so the bid would be for 2 pieces of Michael Carini original art. But yeah, we have raised just shy of $1,200 so far. So it's so amazing. And yeah, I'm just giddy. I'm giddy to get back to Tucson too. I'm giddy to get back in studio and start doing some more reaching out because again, Chapter 3 is on the horizon. Our marathon stream for the closing of Chapter 2 is on the horizon, but we also have a bunch of incredible guests for you guys coming up. So I'm really looking forward to giving you guys some really good interviews with some really inspiring people. And it's just been wild the last week. So I just want to thank everybody for riding with us while we've been traveling around and doing these quick little face to cameras versus having the full-fledged studio set up. Let's see. Before we go, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and talk about our sponsors real quick. Let's see. Tonight's show is sponsored by Mike Silkowski, is your local partner in getting your message in front of the right people. Mike specializes in helping businesses right here or right there in Southern Arizona reach their ideal customers through TV and streaming services. He's not just sponsoring this Chapter 2 of People Helping People. He's building partnerships. And he doesn't succeed unless you do. So if you're ready to grow your business with someone who's invested in your success, call Mike directly at 515-305-5311. Again, that's 515-305-5311. And if you're a business owner of any kind, if you've got any sort of business, I definitely recommend calling Mike and just seeing if he can help you out. He might be able to get you in front of the right people. And if he can't help you, he's going to direct you to somebody that can. He's good people. So we love you, Mike. Thank you. This episode is also sponsored by T-Town Boxing. It's Tucson's home for boxing, kickboxing, and recovery classes for all ages. T-Town Boxing isn't just a gym, it's a community where you can build confidence, discipline, and lifelong skills. Whether you're stepping into the ring for the first time or sharpening your technique, from kids to adults, beginners to experienced fighters, T-Town Boxing offers a space to grow, train, and challenge yourself. So if you're ready to push your limits and join an amazing community, reach out to T-Town Boxing on Instagram at Instagram.com/T-Town Boxing or their website, boxingtucson.com. Again, Instagram.com/T-Town Boxing or their website, boxingtucson.com. Awesome. Let's see. Rich says, when you get home, keep your jackets out. Only supposed to get into the 80s next weekend. Ooh-wee. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. I don't know about you guys, but the 80s sounds nice. You know, we had a lot of rain. We had a lot of rain here just leading up to the wedding. So wedding day, it's pouring rain. And then right as they had their ceremony, we had a little break. The sun came out. They had a beautiful ceremony. And then right after, the cloud cover came back in. So it was just this perfect little pocket of time. And everything just worked out so good. So super happy to be traveling. Super happy to still have my people here with me, riding for people, helping people. And I'm just super grateful because we're raising money for these kids and just we're doing good things. So we wouldn't be able to without you guys. So thank you so much. And we will see y'all Wednesday at 6 p.m. I look forward to it. We will be back in studio, good audio, good video, and ready to fire off and get back into the swing of things. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on this episode of People Helping People. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview, me making a fool of myself here and there. It was fun. But yeah, we can look back, we can laugh, and we can grow. So that's what it's all about. We'll catch y'all. Gosh, I can't talk. We'll catch you guys Wednesday at 6 p.m. And everybody have a beautiful evening. Deuces.
Yeah. What's everybody fighting for? Why can't people help people? That's the question.